Welcome to my channel, guys. Today our topic is Coleridge's examination of Wordsworth's views. The examination begins with an interesting, and, whether epimethan or not, quite probable and very illuminative account of the actual tool plan of the ballads, and the principle on which the shares stood. He and his friend, he tells us, had, during their were allotted neighborly intercourse in Somerset, often talked of the two cardinal points of poetry, the power of exciting the sympathy of the reader by a faithful adherence to the truth of the nature, and the power of giving the interest of novelty by the modifying colors of imagination. And he illustrates this finely, by instancing the sudden charm which accidents of light and shade, of moonshine or sunset, communicate to familiar objects. He admits, however, that Wordsworth's expressions are at any rate sometimes equivocal, and indicates his own standpoint pretty early and pretty decisively by calling the phrase "language of real life" unfortunate. Now glance a look at Coleridge challenges Wordsworth on real and rustic life and on prose diction and meter. He, Coleridge, now, chapter 17, strikes into a line less complimentary and more corrective than his earlier remarks. It is true, he says, that of much of modern poetic style is false, and that some of the pleasure given by it is false likewise. It is true, further, that Wordsworth has done good by his sticklings for simplicity. But Coleridge cannot follow him in asserting that the proper diction for poetry in general consists altogether in language taken from the men in real life. Coming towards the famous line, "All good poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings." From the blurred theories of Blake we turn to the more explicit principles of Wordsworth set forth in the preface to Lyrical Ballads. Wordsworth proceeds from the same starting point: dislike of the artifice and restricted forms of approved 18th-century poetry. He too expresses the breakaway from formal authority. Disgusted by the gaudiness and inane phraseology of many modern writers, he castigates poets who separate themselves from the sympathies of men, and indulge in arbitrary and capricious habits of expression, in order to furnish food for fickle tastes, and fickle appetites, of their own creation. Please subscribe my video and share with friends.